Hello, encouragers. I'm Rebecca Scott, wife, mother of 4, author, and owner and designer of Rebecca Scott Designs. I'm here to encourage you, to make you feel the I can do this spirit each and every day of our awesome journeys to fulfill those many important roles. I believe we are fully equipped to execute, and I will provide you with as much knowledge and practices and systems as I can to help you understand just what I know you can do. Execute. We got this. Hello, encouragers. On today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to talk about my number 1 secret for getting it done. One of the most common things I get asked still to this day, even when I'm in a purse booth selling purses, is how do you do it? I have a lot of good verbiage and posters in my booth explaining that I'm raising 4 little ones and sewing these purses and running my business along with my awesome team of about 20. And I'm allowing them to do the same thing. They get to stay in their homes and sew or ship or do marketing, whatever my whole team is doing, they get to do it in their own homes. They don't come to my home, except for a couple times a week. And so people still ask, how do you do it? How do you execute on all of these roles? And as far as I can tell, I look pretty good doing it. Just kidding. But, I don't look like I'm surviving on 4 hours of sleep or look stressed. And so you've heard me over the years preach about my systems and my priorities and how I execute on all of them. But I truly believe this is my number 1 secret. And I'm not even going to reveal it until I say something first. I wanted to thank you. For the listeners out there, the microphone is lonely. I'm by myself. And while I love podcasting, what I've really loved is the feedback from those of you that I've traveled and done speaking events with, and from my encourager workshops, and just even customers for the purses that say, I've been listening to your podcast. I still act like a giddy 4-year-old when I realize that you've spent time in the car with me and I've got to sit next to you and have a conversation. Because that's what this microphone and this podcasting and this medium feels like to me, is a conversation with you. And I love that you're allowing me to be a part of your life, and that you're prioritizing improving your life, and that I get to be a part of that and cheer you on. Because ultimately that's what I want to do. I am the encourager that God has made me. And I just want to thank you for letting me be a part of your life, because I know how valuable your time is. So thank you for sticking with me through all these seasons and just keeping me motivated to keep bringing you content to make you the best you can be. Each one of you is entirely unique. And it's so fun to get to know you through our Facebook page, through our email list, which, by the way, be a part of that. You're getting tips and tricks weekly now. We're going to have a newsletter sent to you that will be really handy just to recap a couple of weeks of podcasts, some recipes that we're really digging, maybe some organizing tips, and then also some resources with books that I think all encouragers would really appreciate. So be sure to sign up on our email list. That being said, just thank you. I'm coming up on my 100th episode, and I'm pretty elated. I had to get down on my knees the other day to pray, and it just dawned on me the weight of 100 episodes. Now, believe me, I follow podcasters that have 200 to 300 episodes. But for me, each one of them has been so personal, because it's literally a biography of my life and how I run my life, and that people are still interested in trying to follow along and that find it valuable. It was just very humbling. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. I'm excited to keep this journey going on, and I'm excited to see what God challenges me to even refine some more roles in my life and some more things that I can share to make us the best us we can be. I'm determined to undo what everyone says we can't do, which is be a successful business and be a successful mom or wife. I think we can do both well. We just have to get organized about it. And we have to be equipped to execute. And remember, you're already equipped. God has given you all the tools that you need to execute on whatever it is He's planted on your heart. I'm just going to help you execute on that. And that is just simple practices, simple things that I have done that I am very disciplined about. They're simple, but you got to be disciplined. But I'll give you everything I know in order to be able to do that, because I truly believe all of us can be successful. Okay, are you ready? The number 1 tip over all these years that I still swear by is timing. Did you know I was going to say that? If you listen to me, you're like, oh boy, I knew she was going to say that. And here's timing everything will allow you not to waste a single minute. I'm talking down to a minute, because when we have those pockets of time, we come into the house after we run errands and we've got 20 minutes before we got to go back out the door to pick up kids or go back out the door to get to an appointment or whatever. And we've got like 10, 15 minutes and we're like, it's not enough time to do anything. So what do? We pull out our phone and we start scrolling. Hopefully, we can get out of that habit and start playing with our kids or complete a few of these tasks. And the reason I want you to time everything is because when you have those 10, 15, 20, even 30-minute blocks of time, instead of wasting it by just running around and feeling overwhelmed, like, okay, well, I guess I could do the dishwasher, but I'll only get halfway through it, and then I got to be out the door. Or, well, I'll only start the closet, but I'll have to finish it in the weekend. If you time it, then you know how long it will take, and you're more motivated to tackle it as soon as you walk in the door. And after timing certain tasks, you get used to how long they take. And on your ride home or in the morning when you know what time you're going to get up, you'll say, you know what? I've got 45 minutes. I've got a pocket of time here. I'm going to tackle a list. So I encourage you to start timing everything and keep a list. You'll probably start memorizing the list. It'll just happen naturally because you'll be amazed at how long things do or don't take. That's the kicker here, because you'll go, oh my gosh, I'll never forget that the dishwasher only takes 4 minutes to unload. Okay. And you'll start getting this momentum where you're like, dang, I am on top of the world. I had no idea it only took 8 minutes to wash the dinner dishes, but you dreaded it for at least 20 minutes and hung out on your phone or whatever we do to fill the time rather than doing the task, because we don't know how long the task is going to take. But if you knew that, how much quicker would you be to accomplish that task? Cross it off our list, because I know you have a list, or even if the list is in your brain, you're like, dang, I am good. So timing everything is my number one tip to really get it done. Now, how are you going to time everything? So what I did, and I started this years ago because I would get frustrated with these pockets of time. I just used my oven clock because it was digital. I would like to encourage you not to use your phone, just because I think it's starting to be a real thing where moms are constantly on their phones. And I myself, I'm guilty of this too, you guys. I'm afraid that it's teaching our children that our phone is a priority. So if you need to use your phone, totally get it. There'll be no shaming coming from me. Or, watch your kitchen clock on your oven, or get a digital timer. Sometimes you have that for baking and whatnot. Use that and then just start it when you're starting a task so that you have an approximation. Obviously, it's not going to take you 8 minutes every single time to do the dishes, depending on the workload. If you have 2 crock pots like myself, it might take a little bit longer, but it's just a general idea so that when you have those pockets of time, you'll go, you know what, actually, I could do the dishwasher and the dishes if I just get after it. And then it also helps when you know how long it takes. Then you can treat yourself with scrolling your phone if that's something that gives you joy or whatever, or you could treat yourself with sitting down to a cup of tea and being in silence with God, whatever it might be. But when you have these task times out, I promise you will stop wasting pockets of time. Okay. I know I'm getting on a soapbox here. I'm getting a little carried away, but I'm telling you, the number one tip for getting things done, especially the daily tasks, is you've got to time them. So get that kitchen timer or your phone, set the timer when you start the dishes, and find out how long it takes you. And this isn't about judging yourself how long it takes you or doing the job extra fast so you can get it done. You want to just do it like how you would averagely do it, because you don't want to do it really fast, or it's a lie to how long the task actually takes. And then you'll be frustrated that you started the task but couldn't finish the task before you had to leave for the next thing. So just do it at a regular pace, and just as a mental note of, okay, it takes me about 8 to 10 minutes to do the dishes or whatever it might be. Dishwasher. Okay, takes about 4 minutes. Good to know. Changing the laundry only takes about 3 minutes. Making the bed. I'll give some examples here, but I just want you to start getting that timer out and start timing daily tasks. And it could also be related to work tasks. Time how long approximately it takes you to do email. Now, maybe emails on Monday take longer because, people are all gung-ho on Mondays, so they do a lot of customer service and a lot of emailing on Monday, including myself. But maybe time a Tuesday afternoon when you're checking email, just to note how long it takes you to either research that topic or write the podcast or do the blog post or do the flat lace. Time it so you have an idea. When you have all of these tasks time, including your work life, your home life, you can start blocking your week. And you know how I feel about blocking. It's amazing. So when you've timed it and you said, okay, I'm allowing 2 hours to do the flat lay pictures for my website, and you find that you're sneaking it into about 2.5 hours, and you're like, gosh, I did not allow enough time because you've timed it before, and you're like, oh, wait. My sheet of paper says it should take me 2 hours and I've only blocked in 2 hours, but I am always sneaking it up into when I should be doing lunch or prepping for supper, or whatever your thing is on your list. And I've got to block it another half an hour. Just be real about yourself. That's why this is not about judging yourself, how slow you are, how long it takes. It's just so that you block the appropriate amount of time. Because the last thing I want you to do is cut off things that you enjoy. So if your jam is putting together these outfits for flat lays, don't limit your time on it, but do put a time on it so you can have an idea of how long you need to enjoy yourself while doing that. There's a certain law, and I can't remember what it's called, and I would Google it right now, but I'm recording, that the task takes the amount of time allowed. So if you allow 6 hours for flat lays on Mondays, take all 6 hours, you will take all 6 hours, and you'll complete that project, and you'll feel really good because that's your thing. But if you say it's only going to take 2 hours, well, you're probably going to get it done in the 2 hours if you have the rest of the day blocked out. But half of our problem is not planning the day or planning the task because we haven't timed them and we don't know how long they take. So we get overwhelmed and we just plan 10 things and hope we can take a stab at 3 of them. It's so true, isn't it? We get so overwhelmed because we don't know how long the task takes. So if you would spend a week timing every single task, which I know may be a little overwhelming, but it's not meant to be. Just keep a notebook, jot it down on your phone, on the notepad or whatever. And maybe I'm missing some awesome app out there where you could record this quick, or you could do like laps on your stopwatch and record things there. But keep a list for a week. I promise you will never forget it, for one. And you know what? You can even roll your eyes, do whatever you need to while uttering Rebecca Scott is crazy, because at the end of the week, you'll be like, oh, Rebecca Scott is right. She is so right. I didn't realize that it only took me this long, or that it actually takes me longer to do this chore, and I've never allowed enough time, and that's why I get annoyed with this chore and get grumpy with my family, because I'm not allowing enough time for as long as this chore takes. And think how much more you'll be able to accomplish, because you will never miss another 5, 10, 15-minute task scrolling your phone. Okay, so let's give you some ideas of what you can do in these different time blocks. So I kind of broke it down with my staff to also ask them, what are some of your tasks that only take you 5? So in 5 minutes time, you can hang coats in your closet, put shoes away, clean the receipts out of your wallet, and organize or restock your purse. In another 5 minutes, you could collect the dirty laundry and make the beds. And my trick for making the beds is strip the bed on Tuesday mornings, make it with the next set of sheets. I have two sheets for every bed so that it's already made that night. And then I'm just washing in the background. And more 5-minute tasks would be cleaning out the junk drawer, sweep the kitchen and dining room, or wipe down the shower, which I totally have to get in the habit of because I only had 1 bathroom in my old house. And now I have 3 bathrooms. So I'm trying to figure out how do I clean tubs around. So I'm getting a little bit better about that. And some 10-minute tasks would be you can vacuum out your car, your Suburban, whatever that might look like. You can dust and tidy up just 1 bedroom. In 10 minutes time, you can clean out the dishwasher and wash the dishes on top, or you can print off some Pinterest recipes for next week. But remember, you're timing it 10 minutes on Pinterest. That is it. Shut yourself off. Have some discipline. Another 10-minute task you could do would be to give yourself a facial. 10 minutes. That's right. I timed it for you, you guys. Do a facial in 10 minutes. For 20-minute tasks, you could make, for me in my business, I know that I can make about 30 kits. That means 30 purses to go out to the seamstresses. I can strip the beds and then make them with the clean clothes. It does take a little bit longer to do all 3 of them. In 20 minutes times, you could vacuum and wipe down a vehicle or reorganize a closet. And in a 20-minute strip, you could go through the toy bin and get rid of toys you no longer play with. You could write a quick letter to your grandmothers to prioritize that, or your grandfathers. And in 20 minutes, you could read a Bible or devotional and have some prayer time. In the 30-minute block, you could complete a monthly budget. You could pay the bills. You could put clean laundry away. I can actually fold all my laundry in about 25 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the load, because I don't fold it during the day to take up those pockets of time. I wait until Monday nights about 7 p.m. and I fold all the laundry and I put it away. Folding it takes about 25 to 30 minutes and putting it away takes another 10 minutes because I'm walking on different floors. And in another 30 minutes, you could block out your marketing for the week, what day you're going to do post on videos, what day you'll do post on new product, and that sort of thing. So you could plan out and block out some marketing in 30 minutes. In 45 minutes, you could meal plan and write your grocery list. You could listen to a podcast while picking up the house, just run around with one bin, everything that's out of place, put it in the bin. And then when the bin is all collected, then you decide what room it's going to go into. And also take note of what is in that bin. If what's in that bin, you're finding yourself each week picking that up, then that thing does not have a place. So you need to get a hook or get a shelf or get a box that that thing is going to go into. Another 45-minute task is that you can touch up wall paint. Okay, seriously, what an annoying job. But if you had the little baby jars full of your common wall paint or your trim paint or whatever it is, in 45 minutes, I would guess it would even take less than that. You could touch up all the walls and that sort of thing from the kiddos and yourself, let's be honest. And for 60-minute tasks, so if you had an hour, a full hour, what can you do in an hour? I am always amazed at the power of an hour. You can do so much in an hour. If you've got a pocket of an hour, I want you to accomplish the world in that hour, okay? So in an hour, you can return emails. Maybe you've checked them, but you haven't returned them. You could return emails. You could read a book. That's right. You could read a whole book in an hour if you were getting after it. That's probably without small children around. You could get through a magazine and tear out anything that's inspiring you or that you want to use going forward. You could definitely clean out the fridge. Hopefully it'll take you less time, but you could clean out the fridge and wipe it out, including the freezer. In 60 minutes, you could purge or organize a whole bedroom and the drawers. Think about if you looked at your kids' drawers and just made quick piles of keep, give, and next one up, because we do a lot of hand-me-downs, so we actually have a hand-me-down bin. And you could make sure the correct or size of the clothes is, in that amount of time the kids can try them on and shuck them off and all of that. Or in 60 minutes, you could make 4 freezer meals. How awesome would that be for the following week? Another 60-minute task is you could balance the checkbooks and do payroll, or fold your laundry and completion like we talked about. So those are just some ideas, but I want you to start writing on a piece of notebook paper. If you wrote down 5 minutes dash, 10 minutes dash, 15 minutes dash, 20 minutes dash, 30 minutes dash, 45 and 60. And then as you're doing these tasks and you are timing yourselves, after you've timed yourself and you've wrote down all these tasks, start putting them in those blocks. And then it'll be this huge visual for you. It'll be worth it. I promise you, it'll be so worth it. And you'll be like, oh, I had no idea that I could clean out one child's room for the whole season in about 30 minutes. Or maybe it'll take 60 minutes. But think about that. You're like, oh, this weekend I'm cleaning out closets. Listen to what I just said, this weekend. As if it's going to take you 2 days to do a child's bedroom. But our brain tells us we're already overwhelmed because of all the other things on our list for Saturday that we're like, I don't know how I'm going to tackle it, because we really don't know. We've never timed ourselves. We've never blocked it in. We just have no idea. So timing yourself on every task for a week, you will be absolutely amazed at how much you can accomplish. The other part of this timing thing is it gives you perspective. Like I was just saying, you'll be amazed because it gives you this perspective of, what, I can't accomplish it all. And maybe you can't accomplish it all at once, but if you take one task on at a time, that little pocket of time, everything doesn't have to wait until the night hours or wait until the Saturday morning hours when we're crabby because we're trying to get so many tasks done that we don't know how long they take. Instead, we're spending time with our family. I am a huge fan of Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. Everybody's sleepy. We stayed up a little bit later the night before watching movies, eating pizza, whatever it might be together. So I like to get up super early. I don't necessarily exercise on Saturday mornings. I just automatically put my paint clothes on. It's like my Saturday uniform. Do whatever painting. I love DIYing, or tackle some business stuff that I didn't get done during the week, i.e. recording podcasts, writing podcasts, looking at our outlay for the Encourager workshops, whatever it might be. I accomplish that on Saturday mornings. It's kind of like my little burp of time that I have timed the tasks I'm going to do in there. So I could seriously paint a whole bedroom in about an hour, including taping it and painting it. Mostly because I have all the paint supplies so readily available. I could sew curtains. I could do all kinds of things because I've timed myself. So you've heard me say it probably 100 times here. My number one secret for getting it done is timing yourself. So spend 1 week with a notebook, just jotting down how long it took you to do certain tasks in your house. Every time you walk into your house and you're like, okay, I'm going to do the dishes. Jot down how long it took you. I'm going to do the dishwasher. Jot it down. I'm going to fold laundry. Jot it down. I'm going to check email. Jot it down. A whole week of all these different tasks. Now, obviously, some of the tasks are repeatable. You may not have to time it on Tuesday and Wednesday for email. Just do it on Monday. But kind of come up with a rhythm. And at the end of the week, put those into certain categories. A 5-minute block, a 10-minute block, a 15-minute block. And then go back to your week. Think about where can I block these in? And I guarantee every time you walk into your house and you're like, I got 10 minutes, you'll be referring to this chart, or even eventually it'll be memorized. You'll just be referring to your brain and going, actually, I could make those bars right now instead of waiting until tonight. Yeah, I got enough time here. I can mix up those brownies. I can put them in the fridge and bake them later. It's amazing to me how much this trick has saved my life and my family and my priorities. So I encourage you, go ahead, time yourself, and then get back to me. We will be posting on social media this week about your time task because I want to follow up and get some ideas. We all love to know approximately how long it takes to XYZ without maybe having to do it ourselves. Okay. So we'll be asking you to post on Facebook, and then also go ahead and sign up on our email list so that you can get some of these tips via email and get alerted to anything new we have coming up. Thank you, encouragers. Again, I love being a part of your lives, and I love that you respond so lovingly to me and teach me even more that I did not know. And I'm always forced to be humbled, which is such a beautiful thing. And I'm grateful that I get to be in this role as an encourager. We got this, encouragers. I know how you can start executing on all the things that God has equipped you to do. You can pick up my book at theencouragerpodcast.com and check out the store complete with book, journal, and the master course. Also, make sure to check out the resources tab where you'll get a hold of all the PDFs from the podcast. Thank you for tuning in, encouragers. Remember to subscribe so it's automatically on your phone. And please rate and review me. We got this, encouragers.